All right, are we on the air? I think we are.
Oh, wow. Sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're on the air. Yeah, another cold opening for this show. This is how episode 1 went. Episode 2 is kind of off to a swimming start.
Yeah, going hard here.
Going hard in the paint, as we like to say, right?
Yeah.
So welcome to episode 2 of Here's the Thing with Jesse Varner. I was off last week, so that's why this is episode 2. They are letting me back on the air here at WODU. I'm guessing I did not blow it for episode 1.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable they let you on broadcast frequencies. The FCC should be investigating you.
Well, it's the FCC. We could go on for an hour about those guys for what we do.
Let's talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, sorry. Still trying to figure out the bugs of the studio and get everything set up. But yes, I am Jesse Varner. Welcome to Here's the Thing, episode 2. Before I introduce our guest host, which you've heard from a little bit, I was off last week because I was out of town for a wedding. But what started the week last week, and this is going to introduce our special guest. I went to the Stanley Cup banner game for the Washington Capitals, and I must say, I am a diehard Capitals fan. I think I let you guys know that during episode 1, and I must say, what a night. What a night to be in Capital One Arena. The energy was awesome. The energy was awesome around D.C., had a great time with my buddy Rick. We hit up Hooters beforehand, had a couple adult beverages and some wings. Then we went and got in line. We got our picture with Captain Obvious. We got in there, and the energy was just buzzing. As we're going in the stadium, they were giving out these red lights to light the stadium up with. They started doing the videos, and I swear I almost teared up once again. Watching all those videos because I was there for the parade. The whole arena was just lit up in red. And then they started playing We Are the Champions. And the whole arena started singing We Are the Champions. And there's a video of my buddy Rick and I singing We Are the Champions on my social media. And it was just, I almost teared up once again. It was an awesome moment. Then they brought the cup out. They brought the team out. And then, of course, Ovi brought the cup out. And the three loudest ovations of players. One was for DSP because the whole crowd started DSP. 2 was for Ovi when he brought the cup out. My guess, do you want to take who number 3 was?
Yeah, that bum Tom Wilson.
It was Tom Wilson, baby.
Bit of that suspension that he deserved for that hit to the head on was Oscar Sundqvist from the St. Louis Blues.
It was, yes. Tom Wilson got one of the loudest ovations, and our section just started chanting Free Willy.
Well, the rest of the league does not agree with you because he's been dangerous the entire career, even in juniors when I covered him in juniors.
No, I granted Tommy's got to change the way he plays. He does.
Sure.
He's got to change because Ovi and the guys got to set him aside and look, dude, you are better on the ice than you are off the ice, sitting on the bench in a suit and tie.
Sure.
We're in the press box. We need you on the ice because you are. I mean, he was a great part of that cup run. He was the protector of that front line. He was top line Tommy. Before I go into more, let me introduce our special guest today. He is none other than Stanley Cup champion Alexander Ovechkin, baby. Yes.
There's won the cup.
The bobblehead. Yes. We not suck anymore.
Shiny. Wow.
Actually,
shiny cup.
True story. I ordered this the night after we won the day after we won the cup, and it just came in the other day.
I believe it.
It just came in the other day. So yes, Ovi, a Stanley Cup champion, is joining us for episode 2 of Here's the Thing. So you've already heard from him, so let me go ahead and introduce our special guest host today. He was once noted as the hardest working sportsman in all of Erie, Pennsylvania.
I don't know about that.
He is WAVY-TV 10's news and sports producer, Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder, say hello to the fine people at WODU.
Hello, Old Dominion University. It's weird to be on a real campus where you have real amenities in your student union, unlike my college, Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania, where, I will say the radio station there has more power, but you guys have a nice setup with all the cameras, so...
Yeah, we're only basically you can hear us on campus on YouTube, and then if you're driving around the Larchmont area, I guess you can hear us too.
We didn't get the streaming thing down, which kind of bothered me because we didn't have. My parents really couldn't listen. I mean, they could, but our stream was so finicky and bad, and we didn't have video capabilities.
Well, God bless the what are we in the 21st century, 22nd? I never know what the century is.
19th.
Jeff, go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so originally from Cleveland sports all the way.
Oh, and trust me, Jeff's gonna drop some bombs here later for you folks.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I mentioned I went to Edinburgh University, did 4.5 years there, did 4.5 years in radio there, was the news director and the sports director at that station, did play-by-play for Edinburgh football and basketball, mainly women's basketball, since they were good and the men were bad, and they were more fun to call games for.
Isn't that still the case? Didn't they make the tournament last year?
Yeah. Yeah, they have a new coach this year. Well, Coach Callie got bumped up from assistant because Coach Smike retired, but Coach Smike's one of the best D2 coaches ever. Yeah, we were a D2 school.
Well, tell a little bit about your sports background.
My sports background?
Well, your career. Come on, man. You know. Okay, so this guy covered the Browns.
Yeah.
Covered the Steelers. Covered the Erie Seawolves. Don't be shy to the radio audience, Jeff. Don't be shy. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, all right.
Radio is not. You know what radio is for? Radio is for pumping your chest for minimal achievements. All right, it's for shameless plugs. That is what radio is for.
Sure. So I did Edinburgh. Started out with Edinburgh football and basketball. Then as time went on, I got my internship. My internship was awesome. It was with WAVY-TV in Erie, and Erie's an interesting market for sports because you're right in the middle of Cleveland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. So you got to go to. I did it during the summer of 13. So I went to Steelers training camp, Browns training camp. Covered a lot of minor league baseball, the Erie Seawolves. Covered some not minor league hockey, major junior hockey with the Erie Otters. At the same time, the future GOAT, Connor McDavid.
I was going to say, you got to talk about some of the players that you covered. Also, Kevin O'Reilly, too, right?
Ryan O'Reilly was before
Ryan O'Reilly, sorry.
He was before my time. But I was able to cover Dylan Strome, Adam Pellich from the New York Islanders, Connor Brown, who plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Who else was there?
I think I want to have you on one time, and we're just going to do one show where we just talk puck.
Sure,
absolutely. Because when Jeff and I have been friends since we started working together at WAVY-TV 10, and 9 times out of 10, when the two of us get together, we're either talking NASCAR, wrestling, we're puck.
Or puck,
We're puck. All right.
Yeah, big NASCAR fan, big racing fan. I like pretty much any sport.
So let's go ahead and get this show started.
Yeah.
I know this time of the year you got to devote it to football. I mean, it's just the football rules the roost around here.
Football.
But I am going to start the show with baseball because we are on the eve of both the American. Well, I think just the National League Championship Series gets started tomorrow.
I think it was I see. My team got eliminated, so I just.
And trust me, I'm gonna let since Jeff's got some airways and he promised to keep it clean. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him go off at the end of this.
Thank you.
So yeah, we got the championship leagues, and I have to say, what we have is we have a really good matchup and a really interesting matchup. The really good matchup is obviously in the American League between probably the two best teams in all of baseball, the Red Sox and the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people could possibly call this the World Series.
Sure.
In the National League, I call it interesting because we have the Dodgers, who have probably the highest payroll and one of the best rosters in all of baseball. But we all know, man, the middle of the season was not good to them.
No.
And they had to fight off the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, and then they had to play in a playoff game before the playoffs. And so there's a lot of potential with the Dodgers. And then we got probably America's team, the Brewers,
sure,
who nobody really saw the Brew Crew coming out of nowhere and making it this far. But they probably have the best pitching staff in all, well, the best bullpen in all the playoffs. Not the best starters, but the best bullpen.
And honestly, that could get you far.
And this
that
team,
could get you very far.
This team lost 100 games not too long ago,
No.
kind of like the Astros. Made a billion trades, and finally those trades are starting to pull off. And man, they look like a really good baseball team. I mean, if you have money, if you put money on Vegas, put it on the Brewers. I would. I mean, I'm gonna go Brew Crew. I got my team lost 115 baseball games this year. Okay, I got nothing else going on. So is it the matchups that baseball wants? Probably not. Is it? Well, actually, let me reverse this. Is it the matchup that baseball needs? Probably not. Is it the matchups that baseball want? Yeah, because if you're a true baseball fan, if you're a true diehard baseball fan, what you're going to have here is you're going to have the Astros and the Red Sox with two really good pitching staffs. I mean, you're going to have Verlander versus Chris Sale, David Price versus Dallas Keuchel.
No, you know who he's going to face?
Who?
Garrett Cole, baby.
Garrett Cole, baby.
Yeah, Gary Cole pitched game 2 against.
Okay. Yeah, we got Gary. I mean, well, I know. I'm just spitting pitchers out here.
Sure,
I mean, you got Rick Porcello that will probably take on Keuchel, and then So
And then don't forget about Ground Chuck and Lance McCullers Jr., who's coming out of the pen.
yeah,
So-
that's and when you have Lance McCullers Jr. coming out of the pen, you know you're doing something right in baseball.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, the World Series. Now, Jeff, chime in anytime you want.
Sure.
The World Series that Major League Baseball probably wants
Yes.
is going to be Boston, LA.
Sure, that's the 2 biggest TV markets left, and Los Angeles being market number 2 in the country. They would have loved the Yankees Dodgers World Series. The Yankees just not there yet, pitching wise. They need more starting pitching.
Well, we're going to talk about the Yankees in a second.
Sure. But at the same time, I mean, everyone likes a feel good story. So you might get more national viewers if the Brewers are involved. The Brewers are historically, in my opinion, the worst team in Major League Baseball. They've only been to it. This is their 3rd championship series ever. They've only won it once. They won the ALCS. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Since they've won a championship series in 1982.
Yeah, they've never won the big one. They've been to one World Series, and and you know what? I think what you're going to get if Milwaukee makes it to the World Series, you're going to get what I call your sports bar fans turning in.
Of course,
guys that like hang out in sports bars, watch games all the time, and then they might be home. They might be like, you know what? Hey, World Series, Brew Crew, let's go, baby. And they'll be the adopted team of America.
Sure, because everyone hates the Red Sox. But honestly, like, it's hard to hate the Astros because they're just they're built well.
Yeah.
And they made appropriate trades. They play Moneyball correctly.
Yeah,
and then they spent money when they should have.
It's that small ball game that kind of annoys everyone. And it's not like Houston's like some small market.
No, Houston's like market like 5.
Yeah, they're a top 10 market, but for some reason the Astros are just not a top 10 market team.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, they were a team that just a few years ago what lost had back-to-back 100-loss seasons.
Sure, but that let them draft really high.
That's what kind of built them up. I mean, that's the kind of formula the Nationals try to use, but we saw how that worked out for them. But the Astros, I want to get in the Astros because the Astros are kind of what the Yankees are not. The Yankees, okay, so I want to talk about analytics in baseball.
Sure.
And your baseball purist,
right?
It's not killing the game to your baseball purist.
No.
But to your casual baseball fan, I don't know. I mean, this Moneyball stuff, you watch a team like the New York Yankees,
sure,
who led the entire league in home runs this year.
Yeah.
They came to the playoffs. They couldn't get a single run across the plate. They were outscored by the Sox, I think, like 20-4.
Yeah, because you know what? You live and die by the long ball, and in the postseason, that's exposed.
Yeah.
That's just it's always going to be exposed because the pitching is just so good.
Yep.
No matter who you're playing.
You have to advance the runner.
Absolutely.
That's what the Astros do. They advance. You have to get the runners advanced. You can't hit solo shots when your team is getting 3 on and getting 2 across, and you're just sitting there trying to hit solo shots.
Exactly.
Plus, the Yankees, I mean, everybody likes to watch the Yankees go down, and there's some hilarious videos of some Yankee fans out there.
Yankees lose.
Yeah. And yeah, their pitching staff was just not built for it. And I know CC was calling out Angel Hernandez and all that, but come on, bud. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to overcome bad calls.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
You just have to overcome bad calls. You can't blame the umpires for everything. Angel Hernandez has been a problem in the past, but you know what? It's the replay saving him. So
pick off the top of your head,
sure,
who are your picks and who's your pick to win it all.
All right. I think the Astros come out of the American League. They are still the team to beat.
Yep. That's my pick as well as the Stros.
They're still a team to beat because of their pitching, because they know how to win. And the Red Sox rookie manager and their pitching,
a rookie manager that was on Houston's bench last year.
That's true. At the same time, their starting pitching is always a big question mark. Will they show up? Will Chris Sale be Chris Sale? And postseason David Price, as we all know, is horrific.
Horrific.
Horrible. Worst pitcher in postseason besides Corey.
And you really don't want to have to rely on Rick Porcello to get you through.
No, not this Rick Porcello.
Yeah.
No, and then I think Evaldi is the 4th.
So National League.
National League. What I want to happen is the Brewers come out, and you know what? They are the hottest team in baseball right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I want that to happen. But we all know
Ryan Braun looks like MVP Ryan Braun.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, I'm doing the needle motion into my arm. as he says that. But yeah, and of course they have the MVP in Christian Yelich.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
back end of that bullpen is just stellar. Like Josh Hader, for all the controversy he had
I know.
this
I will
year,
say, yeah, for all the
he's
controversy,
overcome whatever that was. I obviously I don't agree.
none of us condone with it,
No,
but
absolutely, but he on the baseball field, he's
he's
fine.
probably the best relief pitcher in baseball.
At the moment, yes.
At the
He's
moment,
like what
yeah.
Andrew Miller was 2 years ago. So hopefully he doesn't his arm doesn't fall off.
Yeah, I mean, I want the Brew Crew to come out. I do think the Dodgers do. I think there's just too much experience there. They won the World Series
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, and they've won the last. They've been in the last 3 National League championships.
I mean, I even said,
They
I
just have to
even
finish.
kind of feel when the playoffs started that we're going to have a repeat World Series of Dodgers Astros, and if that does happen, I've got to go Stros again, man.
No, the Astros are the team to beat until something happens. That's just how it's gonna be.
All
I
right,
mean,
Jeff. I
to
promised
win.
you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
If you have young children in the car, or if you have young children around campus, please. I'm going to give him.
That means you freshmen.
See where are we at right now? Okay, I'm going to give him I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Give me 3 minutes. For
Okay,
this?
I'll give you. Is that too much?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
That's perfect.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Okay, so Jeff obviously mentioned he is from the Cleveland area, and
Yes.
he is a die-hard Indians fan.
Absolutely.
That's probably what your top team, right? Like the Caps are my top team.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Jeff's been if you follow Jeff Snyder on social media, he's been a little opinionated about the Indians during this playoff run. So
What playoff run? They didn't do anything.
So Jeff Snyder, I'm
Yes.
going to start the timer now.
Thank you.
Keep the expletives at a 0. We got the FCC listening in on us. We don't need any fines or anything.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start the timer. Jeff, go ahead.
All right. So last 2016, we all know what happened. Indians had a 3-1 lead. Couldn't close it out, unfortunately. Their pitchers were all burned out. They were playing extremely hurt. The fact they even got there was a miracle. All right. And then 2017, we're all set up. Best chance to win. Pitching's there. Everything's going great. Up 2-0 against the Yankees. And guess what happened? They lost. That was worse than losing the World Series. This year, I look at the roster, I look at the bullpen, and I'm like, it's a postseason team just because of the division. The division is horrible.
Well, you won the division. You did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like winning. It's like the varsity team playing a bunch of like freshmen. All right, that's what it was like. So I look at the roster and I'm like, postseason team, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay, 1 minute.
Just because. So this year I'm like, all right, postseason, maybe take it 4 games, maybe take it 5, but I don't expect to win because the Astros just know how to win. What they did in this series was the worst thing I have ever seen them do. They did nothing. Everyone was a bum. It was Jose Ramirez, who's been just awful the last 3 months. Bum Josh Donaldson.
Wasn't he tweeting like, I need a hit, I need a hit, I need a hit, I need a hit?
That was actually in April.
Okay. I saw it was retweeted again. Yeah, it was retweeted during that series.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Josh Donaldson got him from the Blue Jays to be something.
What a farce of a trade.
Nothing.
What a farce of a trade.
I mean, we gave up nothing for him.
Is he under contract, though? Like, is he going to be with the Indians next year?
No, he's out of contract this year. Edwin, bum. Brantley was even terrible. The only players who showed up were Francisco Lindor, catcher Yan Gomes, Mike Clevenger, who pitched a great Game 3, only to have it explode in his face because the bullpen is horrific. Bauer. and I don't blame Bauer for that. You know who I blame? And then also, who else showed up? Cookie Carrasco. I blame Terry Francona for his managing the bullpen. He has a history of loving bums. He loves these trash, role players who just...
Well, he won 2 World Series with the Red Sox with them.
That's not even true because they could buy him players.
Well, they did have stars. They had David Ortiz. Yeah, they had Johnny Damon.
And you can't do that here because the Indians are notoriously cheap. They don't... A lot of players are leaving free agency. Brantley's one of them. Andrew Miller, Cody Allen, good riddance. I mean, those guys' arms fell off.
Well, Andrew Miller, he's old and hurt now.
Yeah,
man.
he's 34. He was beat up this year, and his fastball was just not there. And
he's probably going to retire.
He'll sign on somewhere. But he got chewed up. Allen got chewed up in a contract year. Cody Allen's only 30 years old. and he got beat
It's
up.
not
like
a good
that.
look for a contract year.
It's not a good look for a contract year. I mean, at least Brian Shaw faked everyone out last year by being good, and then all of a sudden he was on the Rockies. He wasn't on their postseason roster. That's how bad he was this year. But there's so many people leaving free agency. However, there's still going to be a postseason team next year, but Tito cannot manage like this.
Well, do you think Tito's back?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I think his pedigree, there's no way they're going to fire him.
They're not going to fire him yet.
They're not going to fire him yet.
No.
All right,
It'll take a lot.
All right, I promise you 3 minutes, and I got to stop you there because that was 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Very job. Well, hey, no curse words.
Hey, you know what? I think I will knock the part of my brain where the cursing's all.
Oh, trust me, Jeff and I have spent
wow.
many nights on a bar stool, him talking about the Indians, and
F is out of my mouth a lot.
And let me just say, yeah, that rant that he just had was a lot dirtier there. Okay, so let's transition from baseball because we only got like maybe a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I don't know. It's college radio. I can do this until they kick me off. Who cares?
Sure.
Being here on the campus at ODU, I am going to do a quick ODU FAU recap. I know we're 4 days away from the game. We got the Marshall game coming up in 2 days. I mean, ODU looks good. They look good on drives. Their defense, God, man, their defense cannot just stop. They can't stop the big playability. Their offense can put together these long drives, these 10, 15-yard plays, these long runs by Jeremy Cox. Blake LaRusso looked good. 38 for 50, 383 yards. The kid's really starting to come into his own, a couple touchdowns. Their defense cannot stop the big playability, and FAU just kept hitting him. Like every time ODU would score, FAU would hit him in the mouth, and then on the next drive, hit him in the mouth again with these big plays. They came back and battled in the second half. They pulled it in with 5. I don't know where you go with the season from here. The team is 1-5 now. The likelihood of a bowl game, unless they go on some kind of a miracle run, is not going to happen. I mean, I hate to say that.
They had to win 6 straight.
But with that being said, and everyone is still coming off the high of the Virginia Tech win.
Sure.
And with that being said, if they don't make a bowl game and they win a couple more games here, having that Virginia Tech win, I think kind of salvaged this season a little bit.
No, they can lose every game from here on out.
It definitely say Bobby's job.
Oh, for sure.
It definitely say Bobby's job. That I don't know if he was on the hot seat to begin with, anyways. I mean,
it was going to be a tough year regardless, I think. But I mean, they lost to Liberty 52-10.
Yeah, I mean, what you look at the schedule? You got Rice coming up. You got VMI coming up. Those are possible 2 wins you could grab there, salvage a little bit of the season. And Marshall this weekend. Marshall's coming off a loss to Middle Tennessee, and they need a key win if they want to. Marshall does if they want to stay in the Eastern Division race. I mean, obviously, ODU is way out of that. They're not going to the Conference USA Championship game. I'm sorry, they're just not. You got 2 offenses that can play pretty big. It could be a pretty good shootout. You got OJ Zimenez, who's just a monster this year. Man, the kid is just a beast. NFL teams are like clamoring for this kid. He leads Conference USA in sacks. I mean, I'll probably be there Saturday. I'm not sure yet. I'd like to say they could. I mean, they need a home game right now. I mean, after that atmosphere they had at Virginia Tech, they really need a home game right now. Maybe they can pull it off. You got 2 really good coaches. You got Bobby going against Doc Holliday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens Saturday. That's why they play the game. I might hold off for prediction later on. I got to look at the line. I haven't even looked at the line yet. So let's go ahead and transition to I can't believe we're already week 6 of the NFL season.
We're already week 6?
We're at week 6 of the NFL season.
Man, I mean, it's flying by. It always does.
It does. I mean, you wait so long for something to happen, and then when it happens, it just flies like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL, man. It's the quickest sport in America.
We'll do some picks here in a second.
Sure.
I'm going to talk Redskins for a minute, and then I'm going to do a segment with Jeff about a couple teams around the NFL.
Sure.
Redskins, it's put up or shut up time, man. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Allen, you went into New Orleans. Granted, you went up against a team that always plays with an emotional high.
Sure.
They play off that crowd. They play off, being the underdog, even though they're not the underdog this year. They're actually my pick to go to the Super Bowl. And after that showing against the Redskins, they're going to stay my pick to go to the Super Bowl. And I know it was Drew Brees' night. They kind of stopped the game. They should have flagged the delay of game, but, you can't. I mean, I think they actually did get flagged, but regardless, man, let Drew Brees have his moment. He's slowly becoming the GOAT. Well, I think Brady's still the GOAT, but Brees with Breezy, he's up there. He's in the talk of some of the greatest of all time.
I think he's a top 5 quarterback. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, you benefited from the system." Every quarterback benefits from systems. All right, it's not.
I mean, that's what a lot of people said about Tom Brady for a long time.
Yeah, but you have to be able to execute.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You have to be able to make the plays, and Drew Brees in a spread offense can make the plays.
And he's got receivers this year.
Absolutely, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even when he had bums catching the ball, he was still making it happen.
So, Redskins, I mean, Jonathan Allen was very emotional after that game. It's put up or shut up time, man. This team likes to talk a lot, and there's always a lot of drama with this team, and there was this week with D. Hall going back and forth with Josh Norman,
Sure.
and Josh Norman going back and forth with Michael Thomas. Really, I mean, you're playing. You got Carolina coming in. You got Carolina coming into your house. I wouldn't call Carolina an elite team. They're a team with an elite quarterback, but they're not an elite team. This is a chance for you to pick up a win and try to stay on top of the NFC East, which is the most garbage division in all of football this year.
Oh, my God, yes.
I mean, tonight's game between the Giants and the Eagles, I don't even know if it's watchable for me. The only thing that makes it watchable for me is to watch Saquon Barkley. That's about it. That's about the only reason why I want to tune into this game.
And he hasn't even been – he's gotten away with
and maybe because I've got Alshon Jeffrey on my fantasy team.
Sure.
That's why, and I'm starting him tonight.
I mean, Barkley's gotten away with some stuff. He's been able to break some big plays, but other than breaking the big play, he's been stopped pretty well.
So, Redskins, Alex Smith, you looked terrible.
Weird.
You looked like the Alex Smith all the Redskins fans fearing that we were going to get.
Yeah.
He finally threw the ball past 10 yards, but he threw it to the wrong receivers, and he overthrew a lot of open guys. So, put up or shut up time. You got Carolina, and even if you lose to Carolina, you got a couple more winnable games on your schedule. You got the Falcons coming up, which, good Lord, what happened to Atlanta?
Bad.
A lot of people thought Atlanta could go on a Super Bowl run again this year.
Atlanta bad, Eagles bad, like all these teams that are just bad.
A lot of these teams that
Patriots have looked bad.
A lot of teams that had high expectations here to start the season have just looked terrible.
Yeah.
And actually, that's next segment I'm going to transition into right now because I want to talk about this for a little bit. There are some teams out there in the NFL that are completely unwatchable. Like, if I see them match up, if I see two teams off the top of my head, I think it happened earlier this year. If I see the Dolphins playing the Titans, I'm not running to that game.
No, absolutely not.
If I see tonight's game, if I see the Colts playing the Giants, I'm not going out of my way to watch that game. There are some really bad-looking teams in the NFL this year, and I'm going to run through a couple teams with you, Jeff.
Yeah.
And we're going to go unwatchable or watchable.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, is your newly anointed favorite NFL team from your hometown is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, well, they are very watchable, and it's because of Baker Mayfield. It's because of Jarvis Landry. It's because of Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Those four guys, incredible.
Everyone thought that Denzel Ward pick was so bad because they could have had Bradley Chubb.
Sure.
Denzel Ward looks like one of the best corners in the league right now.
Yeah, they hit on a corner.
Now, I'll agree with you. The Browns are watchable mainly because of Baker time.
Baker time, absolutely. And it really the defense. If you like defenses, you'll like the Cleveland defense. They should be a 5-0 team, in my opinion.
The Miami Dolphins.
No, can't watch them.
Yeah, there is nothing watchable.
I can't watch Daniel Tosh play for 60 minutes.
There's nothing watchable. I mean, even if you had Kenyon Drake on your fantasy team, well, sorry, bud, he's been disappointing you this year. There's still nothing watchable about the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill, I'm sorry, is just not the answer quarterback the Dolphins thought they were going to get. I mean, the guy was a wide receiver. No. So, the LA Chargers.
No.
Not watchable? Really?
Well, Bosa's hurt. I mean, I'm a big Ohio State fan. Well, maybe showing a little bias here, but like without Bosa, that defense kind of looks lost, in my opinion.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go watchable because I think they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. I still think they're going to make a playoff run. They still got Phillip Rivers. You still got Keenan Allen. It's kind of cool to see old man Antonio Gates do his thing still and grabbing touchdowns.
Wait, they signed him? See, I haven't even watched Chargers this year.
Oh yeah. He scored a touchdown last week.
What?
Or 2 weeks ago, he scored a touchdown.
I'm not playing fantasy football this year. I just didn't get in the league in time.
Yeah.
But he was always like my go-to tight end because he's always good for like 5 touchdowns a year. And And if you don't pick Gronkowski at this point or Kelsey, you're lost at tight end. So
Chicago Bears.
Oh, very watchable team. They've looked very, very good. I know they had the choke job week 1 against the Packers, but other than that, they have been a very, very high energy offense team. Khalil Mack was a game changer. John Gruden, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
John Gruden. If I had a jail sound effect, you're in the here's the thing jail right now.
He's in solitary confinement.
Oh my!
And then he had that audacity to say it's
linebacker. Because you've made the Raiders unwatchable.
I don't understand
even Raider fans can't watch Raider games.
And they watch anything.
He is stuck in 2002. And also, what has happened to Derek Carr?
Oh, awful.
Good God. He was an MVP candidate a year ago.
Whatever
or 2 years ago.
Gruden has put in, it ain't working because it's not 2002.
Yeah.
It's not what you did in 2002 to win the Super Bowl. Ain't gonna be here.
I'm sorry, your teams don't run the ball like that anymore. I know you got Marshawn, but you cannot run the ball like that anymore. And I don't know what's happened to Amari Cooper either, man. Like Amari Cooper and Derek Carr. I mean, they looked like freaking Jerry Rice and Joe Montana like 2 years ago, and now
that far, but yeah.
Well, and now they look like Christian Ponder and I don't know. Give me some bum wide receiver who used to play for the Vikings. I have no idea. Any of them. Boy, the Raiders, man. And you're talking about one of the most passionate fan bases in all of football.
These fans are so passionate about the Raiders when they move to Las Vegas. Guess what? They're still going on the plane and going to the games.
Okay, look, because they used to be a watchable team, they still may be Seattle Seahawks.
No, not anymore.
I think they still are because of the Russell Wilson factor.
Okay, Russell Wilson's fun to watch, but
the Legion of Boom ain't no more, baby.
No, they did the whole Thanos thing on ESPN, and then they faded. And someone tweeted, "Are they all dead?"
Oh man, this show is running by. All right, you want to do some picks?
Yeah, let's do some picks.
All right, let's do some picks.
Sure.
First off, we'll just go tonight's game. We got Eagles Giants.
Oh my God, I'd rather stab myself with an ice pick.
And it's funny, we're all still gonna watch this game, even though it is a completely unwatchable game.
I'll watch it for like 5 minutes.
All right, Eagles are getting 3.
Eagles are getting. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Eli Manning sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles too. The Giants, and this is a must-win game for the Giants.
Yeah, it's a must-win game, which means they're not winning.
Yeah, and like I said, the Giants are only watchable because of Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham. All right,
Odell Beckham's the best quarterback on that team.
Okay, I don't care about Arizona, Minnesota because that's going to be a loss.
Oh man.
Which could be the game of the week,
sure.
the under sneaky under radar game of the week. Chargers Browns in Cleveland.
Going Browns.
And this is a pick'em.
That's a pick. Yeah, I'm going Browns, man.
Would this be an upset?
No. I said it earlier. The Browns should be a 5-0 team. They're just poorly coached.
Well, and they're a kicker away from being 4-1. Yeah, 5-1 or 4-0-1. Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
They should be a 5-0 team, and they're just not. And
all right, we'll go. So you're going Chargers?
I'm going Browns.
You're going Browns.
I'm going Browns. Yeah.
Man, this is a tough one for me. Because the Browns did beat my Ravens, and I don't want to get into how the Ravens lost to the Browns. I really don't want to talk about that right now. That's just going to make me mad. Browns at home. I got to go Chargers, though. I think it's going to be a close one, but Phillip Rivers, I think, is going to show Baker how it's done. But not to say I think Baker's going to get his licks in. I don't care about Chicago and Miami. All right, Carolina, Washington. I'm probably even Washington at home. And actually, Washington is the favorite in this game. I don't know how. But I'm going to go Carolina. I don't know. Why is Washington a favorite in this game?
Doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense to me. Because Carolina's 4-1?
Something like that.
Something like, yeah.
I mean, they've looked pretty good. I mean, they have. I keep harking on defenses. This is a defense league, all right?
Yeah.
It just is.
I mean, the Redskins still have a good defense. They just need to keep the drama down, and they got to keep the noise out until you boys prove something. Sure. Who's your pick?
I'm going to Carolina.
Going Carolina? Okay. Colts, Jets, I don't care about.
No. Oh, my God.
Ooh. Throw the record books when these two teams get together, baby. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Oh, man.
-3 to Cincinnati.
-3 Cincinnati.
And Vontaze Burfict. Remember what happened last time these two played with Vontaze Burfict and Juju?
He's going to do something stupid again.
Probably, and get himself suspended.
I'm talking about Vontaze Burfict. Juju got suspended last time, actually, for that. No, he got fined for that, I think. Maybe he got suspended? I can't remember. But, I'm going Bengals right now. Steelers just too much drama. Way too much
There's
drama.
a lot of drama. I think the Steelers are going to be all right, though.
Think so?
When Le'Veon comes back, I think
If he comes back.
if he comes back,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of drama surrounding this team, but I think the Steelers are going to be all right. I mean, they're still a well-coached team.
Yeah. Despite what the Yinzers think.
Oh, good Lord, the
Gotta
Yinzer
bring
Facebook
back
comments.
Cal.
I'm going to go against you in this one. I think the Steelers will pull this one out.
Think so?
I'm not buying Cincinnati right now.
Really?
I'm still not buying Cincinnati.
Huh.
I'm just not. Okay. Tampa and Atlanta. Oof, God, I don't care about that game. But even though this is Jameis's first official start back.
Oh wow! I'm just excited.
Is Jameis's return? Does he make the Bucs watchable?
Yes, but I think it's hate watching.
Okay. Seattle, Oakland. Don't care about. Buffalo, Houston. Don't care about.
Oh man.
Yeah. This could be a good one. Rams, Broncos in Denver.
Ooh.
Rams are a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, Rams. Definitely Rams.
The Rams look like the best team in football right now.
They're the best coach team in football for sure.
Oh, the coach, even well coached, best roster, well ran, good defense, good all. You got a confident quarterback in Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
Todd Gurley is just incredible. The fact he was a 10th overall pick blew my mind back then.
Well, do you know who went before Todd Gurley?
Bums.
Eric Flowers.
Oh God.
And you know who was cut this week by the Giants?
Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers.
Yeah, he's probably going to CFL with Johnny Manziel and the
or the XFL.
Ooh, XFL 2020.
Okay. I'll go Rams in that one. Even though Denver, their defense they got a really good defense. It's going to be tested in this one, and they do got the benefit of playing at home. Jacksonville, Dallas could be interesting because these are two teams that need to get their seasons back on track. I'll probably go Jacksonville, even though this is in Jerry World.
Go Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I mean, they're coming off a bad loss. Blake Bortles did not look good. Bortles facts upset.
I love Blake Bortles facts.
Great.
Oh, it's the greatest Twitter handle in all
Great
Twitter
Twitter.
handles. Next one, Baltimore, Tennessee. It's a pick 'em. You got two teams that need to get wins because they're both 3-2 right now. They're both coming off bad losses. I am a Ravens fan. This is in Tennessee. I'm still gonna go with my Ravens. I think they pulled this one off.
I agree with that. I mean, last week they played a very, very tough defense in a home stadium. The Titans are not a tough team. They're just not.
No, they're not. I don't think the Titans are for real right now. I know they got a big win over the Eagles. They started the year 3-1. I still don't think they're real. Marcus Mariota, as good as he is very inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, and you never know what you're gonna get with him.
Derrick Henry hasn't really got his season started yet either. So, okay, I'm San Francisco, Green Bay. I don't care about. So the game of the week.
Oh.
The Chiefs and the Patriots, a possible preview of the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, Boston fans complaining because this collides with the ALCS.
Yeah, well, 3.5.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you and all your million.
Yeah,
championships
I'm
in the
sorry,
last
Boston
20
fans.
years.
I will never ever feel sorry for you for anything.
Never.
Did you see the picture of the kid at the last? What was it? The last
like 2 years
Patriots
ago.
parade.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm 15 and I've been to 12 parades.
I'm like, get out of here.
I kind of wanted to punch that kid in the face.
My city has had one.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to punch that kid in the face.
My city has had one in my life, and in my parents' life.
This is 3.5 to New England. New England's favorite in this one.
Okay.
What's interesting? The interesting line to me on this one is the over/under of 58 points. So Vegas thinks this is going to be a shootout.
It's going to be a gun show.
Yeah.
Well, it should be a gun show, because Patrick Mahomes.
What's up, Mahomes?
In my opinion, has quickly become the best quarterback in football.
Well, no, you stop if the season stopped right now.
Oh yeah,
he's the MVP.
No,
easily the MVP.
What is that, like 17 touchdowns, 1 pick?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, and Brady's getting old. You can tell he's aging a little bit. He mainly check downs to receivers.
And also, this is a Patriots team that's had some drama going on this year as well too.
Sure. I mean, or what
2 and 3, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So the Patriots they're always going to be okay. They always find a way. They'll backdoor their way into the playoffs, and
they always do this. They'll start the year 2 and 3, and they'll finish the year like 13 and 3, where 14 and not 14 and 2, but yeah, they'll finish the year like 13 and 3, where
they have to see post
12 and 4.
Brady's the goat. It's like, you don't have to remind me. Thank you.
Yeah, they'll find their way in the playoffs. I want to pick Chiefs, but their defense is just awful this year. Their defense. I
Yep.
mean, if they had anywhere of a good defense, even though the Chiefs undefeated, yeah, Chiefs are undefeated. If they had anywhere of a good defense, they would probably bypass the Rams as the best team of football.
Mhm.
But we all know if Andy Reid's at the helm, don't have your late season hopes high there, Chief fans.
No. At the same time, no, he doesn't have Alex Smith anymore.
With that being said, I think Brady's going to take Mahomes to school. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a close game, probably like a 38-35 game. I'm going to go Pats.
Right, I'm going to go Chiefs just for variety, but at the same time, I think Patrick Mahomes. This is gonna be the game.
I just love saying, "What's up, Mahomes?"
Yeah, this is going to be the game where we find out if he's for real.
Yes, exactly. This is the game he'll be tested, and we'll find out if he's for real. All right, we're going to transition away from the NFL. We might get into some more college football later on if there's time.
Sure.
The time is ticking along. We got to talk about UFC 229 and what happened.
Oh, my God.
Unfortunately, I did not watch the fight because I was at a wedding of a very good friend.
I didn't either.
Khabib and Conor, man. I mean, we knew there was bad blood between these guys. We knew there was a war of words going on. I mean, if you don't know what happened after the fight, here's what I saw on social media, because obviously I didn't watch this thing transpire. I guess Khabib, after he choked out Conor and he left the choke on for 2 seconds too longer than he should have, got up and he was talking more trash to Conor, and then I guess Conor's trainer started talking trash to Khabib, and Khabib jumped.
He jumped the cage.
He jumped the cage.
One-hopped the cage.
Yeah, and tried to go after Conor's team.
Yeah. And then Conor got into a fight with one of one of Khabib's cornermen.
Yeah, and one of Khabib's cornermen got into the octagon and started punching Conor in the back of the head, and it was a fracas.
Say the least.
I'm sorry. I'm smelling planned here.
Rigged.
I'm smelling rigged here.
Well, here's why I think it's just totally. This is so WWE.
It is the UFC. The UFC, as much as I love the UFC, and I've been a big UFC fan for a very long time, the UFC is slowly going the way of the WWE.
And not like WWE now. We're talking like Attitude Era WWE.
Yeah, they're slowly going the way of WWE in the sense that they have to have these circuses and this drama and all this commotion and all this unnecessary stuff that takes away from the fights and the great fighters to try to draw eyes towards the pay-per-views.
Well, why do you think they wanted to get the belt off Stipe so quick? They tried 3 times to get the belt off.
Yeah, because they don't think he's a marketable fighter. And
Which is a bunch of crap.
And Stipe didn't even get his he hasn't even gotten his rematch yet.
No, he should be fighting Cormier like next.
He should be fighting Cormier next. And Stipe even came out and said, I haven't even been offered that fight.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
UFC's not even reached out to me about another fight yet.
Well, Dana White I think he's missing with Stipe, because Stipe can be the feel-good guy that everyone roots for. But, Dana White understands you got to get eyeballs on your product.
Yeah.
Right?
And his product...
If this fight should have never happened to begin with.
Oh, because of what?
Opinion, because of what Conor McGregor did to that bus 6 months ago.
And I call that plan, too.
Yeah.
I don't think they meant it to go as bad as it did, where the 2 fighters got hurt and they lost out on their fights.
There were charges.
And there were charges involved.
Yeah.
But I think that was all planned as well, because how does he get into the back gate of Madison Square Garden, the biggest arena, the grandest arena in all of sports?
Yeah, they're not going to let him right in.
Yeah.
Best police force on the planet.
But they knew they had to get eyeballs towards him and Khabib, and they knew that fight was eventually going to happen. That's why I'm just smelling planned here. Everything that happened during the weigh-ins, it smells planned, because they're already talking about booking the rematch for either for next year at some point. And look, the UFC hasn't had the best years in the last couple of years, because the UFC's been really watered down. They've had multiple. The best thing about the UFC is, back in the day, their fighters were marketable, and they used to only do maybe 1 or 2 fights a month. Now you've got fights almost every weekend. You've got the Ultimate Fighter, you've got the Contender, you've got Fight Night, a couple Fight Night shows during the week. It's become a little watered down. And they don't have their stars anymore. They don't have the Chuck Liddells. They don't have the Tito Ortizes. They don't have the Chael Sonnens anymore. Those guys are all old, and they're all old. The Quentin Jacksons. They're all old, and if they're still fighting, they're fighting in Bellator. For some reason, Liddell and Ortiz are going to fight again.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, though. That's like retirement home, and they get paid real well, because people still buy the hardcore MMA fans will watch Bellator.
Yeah, and Bellator, it's slowly becoming like the Champions League of the UFC. That's where the older guys are going.
Champions Tour. PGA.
And actually, so wait a minute, I forgot. I cut you off your point. Why do you think it was rigged?
Well, why do I think it was rigged? Because Dana White understands, you got to get eyeballs on your product. He's not going to put like two bums in the ring and hope that they have a good fight. Like, why do you think Rousey was so popular? That's why he booked Rousey so well. That's why he books Brock Lesnar in these big fights, because people want to see these people. People want to see McGregor. At the same time, if this was a real sport, he would have been suspended for years.
Oh, yeah. He would have been suspended for at least 2 or 3 fights. Yeah. And Khabib, too. Nothing has come out about Khabib at all.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, they both probably should have been fired after this, after he went into the crowd.
Yeah. And you know what? Because you're not, remember, in all sports, you're not supposed to leave the playing field.
No.
You do that in the NBA, you're suspended for like 20 games.
Well, yeah, but that's because of the malice in the palace.
Well, yeah. Still one of the greatest live sport moments I've ever witnessed.
Mike Milner beat someone with a shoe in the 70s.
And it's still one of the greatest live sport moments I've ever witnessed. Yeah, and they'll both probably be suspended 6 months, but guess what? 6 months in the UFC is 1 fight. They'll miss 1 fight.
Actually, the guy who beat the guy who took off the pants and talked about is
Derek Lewis.
Yeah, he's fighting next month.
Oh, and that's what I was about to transition to, because your boy Stipe, he's getting a title shot against Daniel Cormier.
He is.
That's gonna be for the heavyweight belt. Derek Lewis is gonna get the fight.
Yeah, and honestly, you know what? He's the number 1 ranked heavyweight right now, and I think he deserves a fight.
He does. He looked really. He's not the most conditioned guy, but he did look really good against Drago.
And you know what? He cut a great promo.
Yeah, he did. He's like America's sweetheart now, man. He's like the fighter all of America's rooting for. All right, we are running a little slow on time right now.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and transition from the UFC. Let's go and let's talk about, man, what is going on with Jimmy Butler in Minnesota. I mean, the UFC is a good transition in what Jeff and I were just talking about. What happened yesterday at practice, I am also calling planned. Like, Jimmy Butler hasn't been at practice for the Wolves, and all of a sudden he shows up and has this huge meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know what you're trying to do. You don't want to be in Minnesota anymore.
Right.
You want out. You want to go play either for the Clippers. I know the Heat are trying to make a run at him. I know you want out.
Sure.
But to act like a perpetual child and call out the teammates and call out the GM and say,
you better be careful. He's gonna end up in Cleveland.
And tell the GM I'm the reason why you have a job. Jimmy, I know you want out, man. And Jimmy Butler's a great story. I mean, when he was coming out of Marquette, he was on nobody's radar.
Sure.
And he's become an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
He's become a great player. Is he a top 10 player? No. Does he think he is a top 10 player? Yeah,
yes.
He does. I mean,
I think there are a lot of NBA players who think they're top 10 players.
And also, you just so happen that Rachel Nichols was in Minnesota at the time covering the Timberwolves. I mean, I'm calling playing on that too. I think Jimmy picked up the phone to ESPN and he's like, "Hey, you might want to bring a reporter. You might want to bring
a top one.
We might want to have a top reporter up here.
Bring me Doris or Rachel."
Yeah, exactly. You might, because wink, wink, something may happen at practice.
Yeah.
So if you're the Wolves, man, just get rid of him at this point. I mean, I know you want to do this. You want to be cautioned with this. You want to do this plan because you want to make sure you get what the kid's worth. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
No.
Just get rid of him.
Just trade him.
I mean, we're like,
you get a lot for him.
Was it the NBA season starts next week?
Something like that.
And God, I can't wait. And actually, what I heard last night, can you believe this? Last night, the Lakers and the Warriors was the highest rated preseason game of all time.
Was it?
Yes. And I know Jeff is a Cavs fan.
Well, people like I don't understand I'll never understand this, but people like seeing super teams. I just don't get it. They like stars.
But you're not calling the Lakers a super team, right?
Oh, no. Well, they're a super team now because they got Superman.
The Lakers are seriously, they're like one of those teams where you've seen that on Facebook, like build a team for $15.
And get LeBron James.
Yeah, and basically, and you spent $10 on LeBron James and then like $1.50 on the rest of the guys. Like
exactly,
JaVale McGee and Rajon Rondo.
That's what the Cavs did, and it worked for 1 year. But, yeah, well, there's still going to be a deep playoff team because of LeBron.
Well, because of LeBron, I don't know if they're a deep playoff team. I think they're a 5th or a 6th seed in the West. So. But the West, I don't know. The West may not be as strong this year as everyone thinks it is. I mean, Utah's going to be good. Mm-hmm. Houston may still be pretty good. New Orleans has the potential to be good.
Sure.
I mean, obviously,
Oklahoma City with Russ.
Yeah, we'll see with Oklahoma City. I mean, obviously the Warriors. I mean, what more can you say about the Warriors?
That is so.
Like if you come over to my place and you want to play 2K, no one uses the Warriors. You're not allowed to use the Warriors.
That's legitimate cheat code. It's a video game team.
And I'm excited for the NBA season to get started. I'm a Wizards fan, and I think Dwight Howard is going to start the season on the bench. I'm color me shocked.
Oh, ooh, bad. Bum.
But we'll talk more NBA coming up as the show goes on. We'll talk more college basketball coming up because we're only a couple weeks away from the college basketball season starting up.
Got a team over here.
We do, an ODU?
Yeah, plays right down the street.
From what I've seen so far from the talking heads in college basketball, they think Conference USA could have a really good year this year. Obviously, they think ODU can be a good team this year.
Sure.
Middle Tennessee is always a pretty good team. Western Kentucky's got the potential to be a pretty good team this year. So Conference USA, I mean, it is a one-bid league, but it could surprise a few fans this year. All right, we got a couple minutes left.
Sure.
Let's go. You want to go through some college basketball? Is there anything on your mind you want to talk about?
Not at the moment.
We'll talk some wrestling.
Talk some wrestling. Yeah, watch Raw this week. I'm just kidding. There's another podcast.
There's another show that Jeff and I come on, the FN Marks podcast. You can find it on Facebook, Twitter. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. Ohio State, Minnesota.
Ohio State. I mean, Minnesota is Minnesota.
Does there any other team outside of Notre Dame that has an easier run to the playoffs right now than Ohio State?
At the moment, no.
I think the Ohio State's only other test this year is probably going to be Michigan.
It's going to be Michigan. And maybe Michigan State, but Michigan State lost to bum Northwestern. Michigan almost lost to Northwestern too. So
let's do some Commonwealth picks. Miami, Virginia. This is in Charlottesville. Miami's ranked 16th. Miami. Okay. These picks are probably just going to be really random.
Sure.
JMU, Villanova.
What?
Yeah, JMU. JMU. Okay.
God.
Troy and Liberty. Troy is 5-1.
Yeah, let's go Troy.
William and Mary and Towson. Towson's 4-1.
Towson.
Virginia Tech, UNC.
Tech.
Yeah, probably Tech.
Yeah.
UNC is god awful.
I love their coach though.
Yeah, Coach Smash. Richmond, Albany.
What?
Yeah, Richmond versus Albany.
Richmond.
Yeah. All right, and last but not least, ODU Marshall.
Go Marshall.
Unfortunately, even at home, I think I got to go Marshall here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. Jeff, thanks for coming on the show today.
Sure, man, anytime.
Let the fine folks know how they can follow you on social.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Real Jeff Snyder. That's the word real as in I'm a real person, and JEFFSNYDER.
All right,
Jeff Snyder.
And you can find me, Jesse WTKR, JESSE WTKR on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, JV News 3. You can find me on Facebook if you want to. I really don't care. Thanks for tuning in for episode 2 of Here's the Thing. Hopefully they let me back in the studio next week, even though it was hard getting in the studio this week. Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say at the end of the show, give love and respect to each other. We're only on this blue globe for one go around. Smile, it's free, and also don't let your balls get hot. All right, I'm out.